Hello everyone, my name is SteveTVOnline, and I'm going to be submitting New Super Lucky's Tale Any % on the Switch. I'm going to be doing it on the digital version because it saves time off of the physical version of the game. And in this, it requires us to collect just the bare minimum amount of pages in each world to get to the boss, and do that throughout the entire game. This game came out in November 2019, and since then, a lot of the community has found trick skips and movement-based stuff that I'm going to be showing in this run. So the timer begins the second that I hit A in 3, 2, 1, go. So as I said, this category gets you the bare minimum amount of pages, and in order to do that, in this first world, we're going to be doing the first 2 levels, and that means getting all 4 pages in each one of those, in 2 of those levels. And in order to do that, you need to do 300 coins, get Lucky for lucky. You have to get a hidden page, which could either be in a burrow hole or just hidden out in plain sight, and then completing the level. And I'm going to be doing that for the first 2 levels of this first world. And right here we have the story line and the cutscene, and one of our movement, the movement base that we have in here is if you can burrow using the ZR button, then we burrow underneath the ground. If you can't do that on solid surfaces, you're going to also use burrow, and that will make Lucky slide on the ground. And our main trick that we're going to be doing is called bonk hopping. What it requires you to do is to use your burrow button, then you're going to jump and tail swipe, or tail swipe then jump. This will allow for you to reset your bonk, and then you're able to do it again over and over again, and that will allow for you to infinitely climb almost any single wall in this game. So we'll finish watching the rest of the story, and then I'll explain the level that we're going to be in.
Whether it did so to defend itself or to protect us, its pages scattered wildly in the storm it unleashed. The portal it opened was violent and unstable, pulling Jigs and his kitty litter to somewhere far from Foxington. But it wasn't the kitty litter the book wanted.
I'm slipping! Hold on, Lucky! I'm going either way!
Before the portal closed, it took my little brother Lucky as well.
Lucky, no!
Without the Guardian Sigil, my team can't travel between worlds. We've been stuck here ever since that day, waiting. I don't know where that portal took him, but I know that Lucky is still out there, somewhere within the book. My name is Lyra Swifttail, and I'm the current head of what remains of the Guardian Order. But this isn't my story. This is Lucky's tale.
Alright, so this first level that we're going to be going into is called Heavy Heads, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be collecting 3 heads, but also while we're doing it, we're also going to be going through the route of collecting all 4 of our pages. And right away, when we get into the level, you're going to notice a door in front of us. In order to usually lower that door, you have to go over to the right, and you have to ring a bell, a giant bell, and doing that wastes time by getting up there first, and then you have to ring the bell, which will cause a cutscene, and then also the door will drop. However, we have bonk hopping, and we're able to bonk hop over this wall that's right in front of us. So that's what we're going to be doing.
Come on!
Alright, let's go. Now we're going to be collecting these coins because we need to do our routing here. And then we're going to meet our first member of the kitty litter and our first boss, which is Master Mittens. So here we go. We're going to mash through all the text here. Go over and talk to the head. Here's our first head that we're going to be getting. So as I said about the the money here. We have a small coin that will equal out to 1. We have a big coin that will equal out to 10, a small pink gem that will equal 25, and a large blue one that will equal 50. So we're going to be grabbing as many of these as we can while we're going. So here we go, we're going to go under there, grab our L, jump on these guys, which was an unfortunate spot. There we go. And we're going to jump up here, grab our C, go over here. And what you normally have to do there is you have to go in a burrow hole and do a little mini game in order to get up there, and they will do a burrow hole for you afterwards to get you up there. But in every single category, including no bonk hopping, we actually never go into that burrow hole. Grab that, and then we're gonna go straight down around this worm. And go down here. Now we're going to go over to the right here, and we're going to break some boxes, and we're going to hit a switch. That switch will allow for us to get the U in just a little bit here. So we're going to break these switches out of those boxes at the same time as we do that. Gonna get this box open and go. There we go. And then we're going to take this all the way over here and turn it in right there, which will activate us getting our first burrow hole and our first hidden page. So we're gonna go in here and we're gonna dive in, grabbing that gem on the way in. Now we're in this burrow hole. We're going to play a little mini game for getting rid of some unwanted flowers. We're going to dive on this first one, and then we're going to stand right about here, jump at the right time, killing both of these flowers. Then we're going to go over this way, dive at that, grab that, and then back down, and then grabbing that. Now after we get out of here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bonk hopping up the wall that is behind us and getting up top, because normally what you have to do is you have to go around and you have to bounce on a bounce pad, jump on a bounce pad, get up top, and then go all the way over. But all we have to do is bonk hop our way up to the top and hit the switch to drop down the last head for us. Go, grab that, and we're unfortunately out of luck there because, for one, the worm is not there, and two, we have to run all the way over here because we skipped over the door. It can make that part of the game despawn, so as long as you run back to where the first head spawned in, it will spawn back for you. So now that we've turned in all 3 of the heads, we're able to see the big golem come into life, and he will raise up the platform for us, and we're able to grab the last page. Alrighty. And we will go. We'll slide up here and grab the page, and once we grab the page, it's about 10 to 11 seconds to get everything done. Alright, now that we're done with that first level, we are going to go on to our second level, which happens to be an auto-scrolling level, and that's where a lot of the donations could be read. And we're going to match through the dialogue box here, and if you haven't noticed already, it's kind of obvious that we have it on Japanese, and the reason we have it on there is because it's just like any other game. There's less characters for more words, and allows for us to match a little bit faster through the dialogue. Alright, we're going to go this way, and we're going to get into the auto-scrolling level here. And this one is just collecting everything, but Lucky is going to be running by himself. The problem with this is if you mess up, then you have to kill yourself or restart the level entirely. But if we do everything correctly, we shouldn't have to do that. So here we go. Go all the way over. Jump out. Make sure you grab that one. Grab that big coin. Then we're gonna jump on this pad, get the seed. Then we want to get our hidden page, so we have to jump up here. Grab the K by diving down. And we're gonna fall down. We can go underneath the ground here. Grab that. Grab that. Grab that. And go. Then we'll do that, and we are done with this level. We got all of them, and we can continue on to the next level. So the next level is our boss fight, and we like to call these auto-scrollers without actually being auto-scrollers because there's nothing we can really change except for tiny small optimizations with knowing where everything is going, as well as doing a little tiny trick at the very end to save about 1 second if we do it. So we have to wait, which is unfortunate here. And we're gonna roll over this way. We're gonna jump up here, and up here, talk to the mailman who says, hey, you have enough pages. You're able to open up this door. So we do that. And then we're just going to walk into there. Now, like I said, there's not really much that we can do to speed this up except for hitting stuff faster than we normally would. And so we're going to I'll explain a little bit of what's going on as it's going on. But one donation could be right about right here. Alright, so this first part, we're going to be running over here, and we're going to hit that head, hit this head. These are all in the same area, so as long as you know where they're going to be, then it's not that hard. And we're going to grab these coins because we can. They do absolutely nothing unless you have low health. And then we're going to bonk off up here. Normally you don't have to bonk off up here, obviously. But other ways that you can get out of there is you can burrow underneath it because it's all grass. You can also dodge it normally like a normal human being. Or you can bonk up here and watch the measly fireballs try and hit you when they actually hit. Right there. So then after we do that, we're going to jump down here and we're going to stand in this spot specifically for 2 reasons. The first reason is because he's going to be throwing down a head right down in front of us and we're going to hit that up to him. And the second reason is because if we stand right here, these next bouncing fireballs will actually not be able to hit us if we're standing right here. And this was actually in the first game as well. It just transferred over. We got that one, and then we're going to hit that one again, and then we have one more phase after these bouncing ones, and then the heads are going to be on the right, middle right. And then we will be done with this fight. So right, middle, right. Then right here is our little trick, if I can get it. There we go. So I hit Mittens when he was in the middle of his falling animation, which causes him to fall much faster than he normally would, saving about a second. You can do a lot of funky things with that little area there. Like, if you're falling with him and you hit him while you're falling, he will fly back up to the top, and then it will teleport you and him both. It's very strange. There's a lot of strange things you can do with that area. So now that we're done with Sky Castle, which is the first one, we're going into Veggie Village. And Veggie Village is my struggle point, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing our first minigame level. Then we're going to be doing two 2D levels.
That was a close.
And then we're going to be doing another minigame level. And the minigame level is actually based off of Super Lucky's Tail, or Super Monkey Ball. And we're calling it Super Lucky Ball. Because it's all the same aspects of if you were to play Super Lucky Ball, or Super Monkey Ball. So this is Tess. She is my favorite member of the kitty litter, and I'm one of the very few in the community that actually enjoys Tess.
Go finds.
And these are the members of Veggie Village. They're worms. Alrighty. Now that we've done that, I want to say I appreciate every single one of the Super Lucky Ball community members because I struggle with these a lot and I would never be able to do it, but luckily all of the coins are all going to be in the same spot. And it's just a lot of memorization, which I bet that they do as well. So this is one of the places I'm going to be focusing on a lot. Because if you fall off the edge, then you go back to the very beginning where we first spawned. And if you miss a coin, then it takes a lot of effort for the ball to turn back around when it's in momentum with this. There we go, that was actually really good. So that end area won't spawn until you actually get all the coins. So you saw it spawn right away and I was able to go into it. That means that I got a perfect cycle there. Alright. Now that we have that, we're going to go on to the next one, which is Piggy Peril. And Piggy Peril, I struggle with quite a bit. I've been doing a little bit better with it recently, but it's our first 2D level, and there's quite a few tricks that they're adding on a new element. They add in a new element to this, which is conveyor belts. And those conveyor belts, if you don't hit them right, you can screw yourself up because some of them go down really fast, and if you go the wrong way on some of them, it can also mess it up. Okay, this is where another donation could be read because I do a lot of focusing here. Like that. Got that at least. So that trick, what you have to do is you have to wait for that spike to be in the right spot, and I just got lucky enough that after that fall that I did, it was in the right spot. There we go. And then we go up here. That was one of our burrow holes with mini games in it. Well, we got here in just the right amount of time. We have to get the K out of there, and if you miss that, then it loses quite a bit of time. There we go. Let's see if I can get this. I struggle with this. So what you can do up there is you can actually bonk hop up there and saving having to go all the way over here. But we're fine. So we'll do that, and we'll get the Y. That's our last letter that we need. We have all 300 coins. We have all letters. And then we finish off the level. So that wasn't bad. The fall at the very beginning. Obviously, I can do better, but what can you do right now? So now that we've gone and done the harder 2D level, we go right into another hard 2D level. Ripe rollers, or rip rollers as I like to call it, can be very difficult, and I failed this many a time. And just recently in this level, we have found a 5-second time save for the level, another death warp, and that helps us with time, but it screws us up with life. One thing I haven't pointed out is, if you've seen throughout all of these levels, there has been a fox statue that pops up every time you pass by it. Those are actually our checkpoints, and if you're low on health when you're doing that, you'll actually gain back all of your health. So there's our new find that we found just recently, like a couple of days ago. And then we're going to go down here, grab the U, and go over this way, and we're going to grab that as well, as long as you dive there. And then we're going to get our hidden C, which is right there. Grab that. We're going to grab our next time section. This is our second one that we have to do, and if I remember correctly, it's our last one that we have to do. There we go. I usually struggle with that, so now that we've done that, we're going to jump down into the middle and get another death warp here. And then we're going to run over here. And we're going to get over here, and we're going to try and not die. Okay, we're good. Hit that switch, then we're going to jump up onto this ladder, grab the Y. Alright, so right here at the very end, you're saying, well, you only have 197 coins. That you won't be able to get it. Well, luckily for us, this last area right here, as long as you collect every single one of these coins here, you will get 100 extra coins. As well as down here, he gives us a couple of coins as well. Alright, that's fine. And there we go. We are now done with the level. What I was trying to do there at the very end, you can bonk hop, do a little bonk hop right there. And that will allow for you to get up there a little bit faster. So now that we finally got past ripe rollers here, we're going to go into our second super lucky ball, and it's actually our last one that we're going to be doing throughout the entire run. Luckily for me, I guess we could say. And then we're gonna go around these guys here. And what we're trying to do right there, that guy right there is actually, his name is Giovanni, and he's trying to give us some costumes. And we don't want that, so we're going as wide as we can around this man, so we don't have to worry about that. So here's our second super lucky ball, and this one's a little bit longer, but in my opinion, it's a little bit easier. So we're gonna go down here, and we're gonna go that way. Grab these coins and make sure you don't get into that. Then we're gonna go here. Oh, that's unfortunate. Go back around, grab that coin. As I say that, it's a little bit easier. There we go. Then finally we're gonna grab up our last set here and jump in. Alright. Talk to her and get out of here. Now that we're done with that, we are going to go and we're going to go fight Tess, my girl, and we have a couple of tricks that we're going to be doing here. She is a very fast fight. Everything that she has in her fight is all the same. So, we have a trick that was transferred over from the original game from 2 years ago that we're going to be using in this area right here. So what you normally have to do is you have to dodge Tess in her robotic bug creature, and in order to do that you have to just run out of the way. But if you stand in a specific area in this boss fight, you will never get hit by that.
Hey, Tess!
Here's my girl. Alright. So this is our big bug. And we're gonna roll over this way and we're gonna stand right here. The reason that we stand right here is, one, we can dodge all of it, and two, our first switch that we're waiting for is gonna spawn right there. Then we're gonna hit that and roll all the way over here and hit that last one. So that is the first wave done. Each one of those switches will always be in the same area, so we don't have to try and guess and work around it. And then after that, we are going to be diving on these bugs. And then we're going to run down here and do the same thing. We're just going to wait. As long as we're standing on the wood, he will not be able to hit us. And this was actually found in the first game, and we just kept it in ever since. Roll there, roll there, roll there, roll there. Hit that laser, not get hit by it, and then jump that way. Okay, and then we go on to the bugs again, same thing. One thing that I didn't point out is you can actually lock onto the bugs, and for some reason Lucky decided not to lock on there. But anyway, we're going to stand up here because the next set of switches, we're going to have two that are spawning right here. We can actually hit both of them at the same time right there. And we're going to go all the way over here, go up here and hit those last two switches, and let's see if I can get this trick. Good. So right there, I sped up the process of that last animation going. If you roll away from the switches fast enough, it will cause those switches to drop down, and then you can fall into the water and it will go black a lot faster. Now that we're done with that, we're going into our next world, which is Restful Retreat. And in this world, we're going to be doing a new set of mini games, and by saying doing them, I mean we're going to skip them completely by bouncing over them. In this game, we have slide puzzles, and these slide puzzles have to be done. You have foxes and you have yetis, and you have to set the foxes in a specific area on the. You have to set the foxes. Yeah, the foxes in a specific plus sign on the ground that will allow for you to. That will allow for the door to fall down and you to continue on and grab the page. However, with our bonk hopping abilities, we actually don't have to touch the ground at all, or at least hopefully we won't have to touch the ground at all, and we'll be able to jump over everything. Alright, there we go, and go down here and into that. This is our first one. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be falling from up above. All we have to do is we just have to hold forward here, and we have to bonk hop. Cool. That's one. And now we have another one. We're going to do that exact same thing. And actually, this category, these puzzles are actually super fun if you do them casually, because I'm a really big puzzle game fan, and doing it casually is really fun. Alright, so now that we have that, we're going to do that one more time, hopefully, because you can fail this and lose quite a bit of time. Cool. There we go. Now that we've gotten both of those, we are going to be going into our next level, which is called Melon Madness. And Melon Madness, to start off, has a really funny name, awesome name. And with that, we're going to, this is another 2D level, so it's just a lot, it's actually one of my favorite levels in the entire game. I absolutely love it. Here we go. So we're gonna, normally what you have to do is you have to go all the way over to the right, but on this one we're gonna head straight over to the left so we can collect our L. And in this level we're going to be collecting all 4 of it. As you saw, we have 8 pages that we have, 8 pages that we have to collect. So we're gonna go over here, grab that, then roll out. Instead of Autobots, it's Lucky. That doesn't matter. What does matter is grabbing that. Because this is a very tight section for collecting coins in. We're gonna go here. Grab that coin, grab the U. Bounce on both of their heads, go down here. Then we're gonna go into our, this is normally a maze section, but you can actually, you don't have to collect all the coins, you can actually swipe your tail and it will grab coins that are down below you, which is really nice, like that, and right there, and then we're done. We'll grab that, jump up, and then dive, because you have a chance of missing that completely. Then we're coming up on the next section here, and there's actually a trick that's involved right here. Well, not here, but... it's in this next section up here. What we're going to be doing, well, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be collecting these coins, and then we'll go to the section that I was talking about. Alright, so normally what you have to do is you have to wait for this to get down like that. We're gonna take this safe because I'm really low health. Okay, and now I'm gonna, I don't know if I want to try the trick or not. There's a trick right here that you can try for the Y, where you can do a bonk hop up the side and save a ton of time having to wait for this to roll all the way around, but we'll see how I'm feeling. Alright, so that's what happens when you fail the trick. You have to come all the way back here to the beginning. That's fine though, I got the Y. And now we're going to go all the way back. Which isn't that big of an issue. And now we are finished with the level. So what would happen normally is you would hit that Y, and then you would bonk off your way back up and then over, and you would be done with the level. However, you saw one of the tricks that they failed. So now that we're done with that level, we are going to go into our next auto-scrolling level. This auto-scroller level is just like any of the other ones. It just has, we have to just take the right path, and by take the right path, that means hit every single switch and follow every single switch everywhere. And that's one of the gimmicks of this one, is having conveyor belts as well as having a ton of switches that you have to hit. Don't go in there. We're gonna jump up here. If you go in there, you waste about 30 seconds or more just having to go into that. So this is another area where donations can be read. So as I said, there's a lot of this, and then we're going to put it on here. Then we want that. Hit that, so we can get our U. And we're going to go up top. It may look slower, it is, but we need it. And this one is an automatic. If you miss that, then something's gone wrong. So this level is very easy to get the 300 points. There we go. And one more. So you may say, well, Steve, you said it's easy to get the 300 points. It is. Here's our last part of the level, and we are good. This is a solid area. This is the only solid area in the entire game where you're able to burrow underneath. It's very weird. Alright, now that we've done that, we are going to go on to the boss fight. And the boss fight is a tag team, as you saw them at the very beginning. Their names are Lieutenant Button, or General Buttons, and Lieutenant Fluffenstuff. And there's some RNG that is involved, as well as we have a little secret message from the creators of the game. So we're going to go over this way and open up our area. And then we're going to see Lieutenant Fluffenstuff and General Buttons. So he's on the ocean, but where's Lieutenant Fluffenstuff? Oh, okay. So this is where some of our donations could be read, but I'm going to explain the first wave and a couple of other things right after that, so I'll let you know when the donations can be read. Alright. So So I'm going to be standing right here because the first phase right here is Lieutenant Fluff and stuff coming down here, trying to crush us. And then roll one more time. It has nothing. This has nothing to do with him being up close or anything. I just like to say that it saves a little bit of time by having him up close right there. It does absolutely no change whatsoever. There we go. We're gonna go right here and just wait. And I just laugh at Lucky because he likes to watch all of these fireballs go. So after this, then we're just going to bonk hop right back over, and we're going to go to the next phase where our RNG comes into play. So these bombs are going to come on, and we want to see them come only to the front, and they did not. One went to the back. This is so far so bad. So here's our new enemy, these bomb cats. And these bomb cats, what you normally have to do is you have to wait for them to throw a bomb on the ground, and after that, then you're able to you're then able to hit the bomb back and it kills them. However, if you get close enough and you just tail swipe them, you're able to kill them instantly. So here's our little message from the creators of L-U-C-K. Oh, Lucky, that's nice. Lucky what? Lucky Smart? No, Lucky Smells? Oh, Lucky Smells good, right? That's what they want us to say? Oh. No, just Lucky Smells. So the story behind that is there was one of the level designers of the last game wanted that message to be in the game, but it was only like a 1% to like 3% chance of it actually showing up in the game. So, because of it, they decided to make it an automatic every time this message will show up. Alright, so now we're on to the final phase here. Fluff and stuff. And this is where one of the donations will be read, because it's just all the same stuff of going around and waiting. So one thing about these bombs is that if you wait too long to bonk hop out of that area that you're in, the bomb shoots way up into the air and then back down, which wastes a little bit of time because you're not even in an area that you're supposed to be at that point. There we go, and we're done with Restful Retreat. Our next level that we're going to be going into, we're only going to be doing one level entirely. Because we're going to be doing some more, we're going to be doing more puzzles. Or puzzles? I don't know. What would you say? It's not really puzzles, it's just going into extra levels. But anyway, we need 6 pages in order to beat this area. And we're going to be getting that exactly, with doing 2 puzzles and 1 2D level that's really fast. And this is Lady Meowmalade. She's really full of herself. I'm not a big fan of it, but she is a favorite for our speedrunning community. So we're going to go over here and we're going to be doing our puzzles again. Doing our puzzles, as in lightly. Okay. So once again, let's hope that I can do this good. I got lucky there. Alright, the reason that I dive there and land on the wooden area is because if you still manage to make it over and then land on the ground before grabbing the page, you'll actually, you will actually still talk to the guy up at the front. Alrighty. Yep, 6 pages. We're going to be doing the 2 puzzles and then 1 regular level. Let's see if I can get this. Jump up on here. Perfect. That was really good movement. So that can be really difficult. There we go. Alrighty. Now that we've gotten that, we're going to go into our next 2D level, and this 2D level is actually very simple for us to be able to get our 300 coins. If you're trying for the 300 coins or not, you're more than likely going to be getting it anyway. Alright, 3 cannon salutes. You thought that you were done with Buttons and Fluffy. I'm sorry to say that you are not done with Buttons and Fluffy. We are going to be chased by him. Alright, so we have to grab this and make sure that we get all the coins, Steve. All the coins, Steve. Okay, we're good. And we're gonna get up there. And we're gonna grab that because Lucky's tail swipe is actually a lot longer hitbox than it's made out to be. So normally you would have to wait for the cannonballs that Fluff and Stuff and Buttons are going to be shooting at you. Normally you have to wait for them to shoot it at that and break it open, but crap. Okay, sometimes you can get very lucky there and it will destroy both of those, saving time, but however it did not do it that time, but we're okay. So right here we're going to be doing a skip called Cabana Skip. Normally what you have to do there is you have to go underneath. You have to let Buttons and Fluff and Stuff open that up for you. So then we're going to go straight down here and we're going to go in and we're going to grab the U or the C. And then we're going to go back up here. That saves a little bit of time with having to knock down the barriers there. So as you can see, I'm barely even trying, and I'm almost got all of the coins that I need. So here's our hidden page. Now we have to be very careful here because we can actually soft lock the game by getting a camera glitch here. That was really good, actually. So I'm not even trying, and I'll just run through here, and I will get my 300 coins that I need. And then I need to get all these coins, Steve. Then we've collected everything here, and now we just have the final area right here that we have to do. In this final area, what we have to do is, you see all of those barrels on their ship. What we need to do here is we need to get them to destroy all of these barrels. Ah. Get up here. There we go. So we got them to destroy all those barrels. And we're going to go over here and we're going to grab our page and finish up. There we go. Now that we've gotten all of the pages that we need, all 6 pages, we are going to head over to the boss of this world, which is Lady Meowmalade. And Lady Meowmalade can be somewhat of a troubling boss if you're not careful enough. You could potentially die if you're not being very careful. But hopefully I'm careful enough and don't die to this. There's no way of actually speeding up this boss at all. It's just going and doing it. Alright, so we're gonna go in here and Lady Meowmalade's gonna be singing to us, but then she's gonna get mad because the music stops, and she's gonna get mad thinking that it's Lucky, so she wants to go and attack us. Alright, so what's gonna happen here is there's going to be some blue tiles and some pink tiles. You want to be standing on the blue tiles, which are complete RNG, you never know where they're gonna be. And they get smaller and smaller each time. And if you're standing on the pink when they turn red, they will shock you and you will lose some points of damage. But what's not RNG is these first set of lasers. They will always go to the same distance and then turn back around, so if you're standing in the same spot at each time, then you'll be good. So we'll go all the way here, and then we need to run all the way up here. Hit her the 3 times that we need to. So one thing you can actually do right here is you can actually bonk hop. But the problem is there is a death plane up above the crystal ball, and I don't trust myself with doing it and accidentally hitting that death plane. So as you can see, they make me laugh every time, but there are a set of those bees, all the enemies that spawn in actually dance to the music that's here, and it makes me laugh every time. Cool, didn't have to move. Sometimes that happens and you get lucky. Huh. You got lucky. So, instead of just having to worry about those lasers, you also have something else you have to worry about now. You also have to worry about the RNG of where the electricity is going to be. Alright, and one more. This time, we're only going to be on 1. But lucky for us, we got dancing bees. And dancing golems. This is the last wave right here, so she was a little bit mad that we survived that last round, so instead of having just all of those, instead she has more lasers, plus we have RNG with where the blue is going. Alright, and that is the end of Meowmalade. Alrighty, and after that, we are now heading on to the final world of the game. And that is Haunting Camp, or as it used to be called, Spookington, in the original game. So now that we've done that, we have to go into into Spookington, and this part of the game is actually where all 3 of the categories meet up. The routing is exactly the same. You have to do the first 2 levels, and then after that, it takes a different route, but the first 2 levels in this will always be the same in any category that you're on here. And we're going to be meeting we're going to have a special guest show up here in this area for us, and when we see him, I will let you know. It will be in the first level, which is Carnival Court, and of all things, Carnival Court is the most changed level out of the entire thing, out of every level that's here. And what you used to do in the original level, well, first, listen to the ghosts. So what you originally had to do in Carnival Court in the original game was you had to collect 3 ghost children and reunite them with their family. However, we usually just skipped past them anyway in the game. In this one, you have to collect 3 different tickets in order to get the final page. And how I was collecting all of these pages throughout the entire time in all of these levels that we go to, in this one we're only going to be collecting 2. We're going to be collecting the 300 coins, and we're going to be collecting the final page. For the sole purpose of, we're not going to be doing every level in this part. In this world, we're going to get just enough pages that we need, and then we're going to be skipping the last 2 levels. So right here, we're going to be doing a trick called Clive Skip, if I can do it correctly. Cool. I got it. Then we're going to jump up here and jump up here. I landed on it. That's fine. So this is going to be our first ticket that we're going to be collecting. It's from the top of the bumper card here. And the camera is going to want to change on us for some strange reason. If we just roll, though, we're able to get out of that. And now we're going to start our collection of trying to get ourselves 300 coins here. A lot of this routing is a little bit different for everybody, but I like to do this route for some reason. So we're going to go here, and then we're going to go into here. And this is the fastest way because each time you kill an enemy, you get 3 coins, and then after you're done with this, you actually get a bunch of different gems that you can go and collect. So that lag was actually not the recording, it's actually the game. For some reason, the game likes to lag out on us. That was a close one. We're gonna collect all these gems, and then we're gonna collect the ticket. Then we're going to go over this way, and we're going to go around this ghost here. We're going to jump up here, we're going to grab all those, and then we're going to jump on that, because this was normally one of those test your strength machines, but the Jinx boxes were up there. So now we're going to go over here, and because we go up here, we're actually going to be collecting a bunch of gems while we're waiting. And that should get us up to our 300 coins, and then we can leave and meet our special guests. And I don't think anybody will be able to guess our special guest. This is Clive the Barker, or as I like to say, Clive Barker. This is the guy that we skipped originally over to the left. Yeah, so if you don't know who Clive Barker is, he is a director, writer, producer, songwriter, you name it. But, yeah, here he is, in the flesh. Well, not the flesh anymore. So now we're done with that, and we only have one more level to go, and that one more level before the boss will be Terror Train. And Terror Train is our last 2D level. it's the last 2D level actually out of any category that we do, and it's just a straightforward level, and the only thing we have to collect and get out of our way is the hidden page in this level. So as you can see, we only need 4 pages, and there's 4 levels. They usually would just be, oh, you just have to collect 1 page in each one of these. So we're going to jump up here. And then we're going to go into Terror Train. Now, Terror Train is just a straightforward, it's probably my favorite level in the entire thing, and it's very fun to just run forward. Go back just for one tiny little thing. And this is another area where donations can be grabbed. Alright, so here's where we're going to do our little bit of backtracking. If lucky, we'll hit that. There we go. And there we go. We're finished with that level, and we have every page that is required of us to finish this level. And you say, how is that possible if nothing is available for you? Well, you just sit down right there and I will show you a little trick here. So the next trick we're about to do is called HH skip or Haunting Hand skip. Instead of going to the last 2 levels, we're actually going to be doing a little trick. We explained bonk hopping, but what I failed to explain is that there is another way to bonk hop, and that is to do... It depends on how you like to do it. I like to do a rocking motion when I'm doing it. If you're on a curved wall, usually we get... usually you'll just slide down. And if you're on a straight wall, then you've seen what happens if you bonk hop. However, if you bonk hop and then look away and then look back again, you'll be able to do this. So that's one level skipped. We talk to this guy, then we go over here. We climb up this tree. Then when we've climbed up this tree, we're going to go over here and we're going to dive down, and we just skipped the last 2 levels of the game. And we are now going to go in here and we are going to open up the final level, which is the final boss fight with none other than Jinx. Alright, and with tradition, with every time that I play this game, I have to act out the final cutscene that's here with the dialogue. Lucky. Over here. Lyra, I'm so glad to see you. How did you... Didn't you... The book? She didn't. Foolish child. Jinx. I've been waiting for you, Lucky Swifttail. I really must thank you. The book is finally mine! is by far the toughest, or the most RNG heavy boss in the entire run. So the first thing that's going to happen here is he's going to send out those little shock waves, and they are in completely random order, and by random I mean they could spawn underneath you and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So we're going to go here and we're going to dodge all of these, and you saw his second phase, his second stage, which was to shoot eye lasers out. So we run up as far away as we can, so we only have to jump over them once or twice, and then he goes into this area. So finally, once he's done with those first two, he's going to send this back to here, and then we're going to get one of a couple of different pathways, and this is by far one of the worst ones for me. I have so much trouble with it right here. And we're going to do a manipulation here. We're going to run all the way over here, and we're going to dive 3 times. The reason that we do that is because normally what will happen is if you hit Jinx, he will fly off the stage, and you have to wait for him to come back onto the stage. So doing that, leading him all the way to the end there, and then jumping on him 3 times, you actually completely skip having to wait for him, and you just do them all in one phase. So as you saw, his lasers are actually a lot shorter now, so if you run away, you don't even have to jump. And he has this, one more of these, and then he has to move, and one more set of laser eyes for us. He tricked us that time. See, so he almost got us there. He really wants to hurt me. And there we go. Alright, so he's gonna turn these around once again. We're gonna see if we can get the good manipulation. Nope, we got a terrible one. This is a really bad one as well. There we go. Then we're gonna run all the way over here, and we're gonna do our manipulation again. This time, he's going to send out waves when he gets hit, but because we've done all 3 of them, he won't send out his other waves. Alright. Now we're on our final wave. What he's going to do is he's going to raise up everything, and he's going to send out his eye lasers. We just have to run away from the lasers while he's here, and he's going to drop it down, and he's going to send out the ghosts at the same time as he's going to send out the plasma. So these ghosts will always be in the same spot, so if you jump towards them in a specific area, you should be able to bounce underneath them and do it. So this last one, you're not able to, unfortunately, do it because he's going to be going a different way here. But he turns into 3, so if you're lucky enough with your bounces, like that, you should get a good ending. So now that that's done, the time will end the second that I start going into the book. In 3, 2, 1, time. So that was New Super Lucky's Tale. Any %? I really appreciate you watching. I hope this is chosen for the marathon. And I know that there's a couple tricks that didn't go so well, but that's what can happen in marathons. I showed you something that can happen in a marathon. So I hope that this is chosen and it can be run. It's been run in a marathon before. Not this category, but the game itself. So thanks for watching, and thank you again.